Hello everyone, my name is Cody and welcome to the first tutorial on this channel, guys. Today I want to show you what I do for recording just any gameplay. It could be Counter-Strike, Battlefield, Minecraft, anything with no lag and the best quality that I can find. Now this is going to be for people who have NVIDIA cards, which means that if you do not have an NVIDIA card, then you can't use these settings, because it works for a codec that I believe only NVIDIA people have, or people with the GeForce series. So what you want to do is you want to get OBS Studio, not OBS Studio or multi-platform or whatever they call it. I think they call it Studio now. And then we're going to go through the settings. So the first thing you want to do is make a new profile. I'm currently using my streaming settings, but I've set them up to work for streaming and recording. Now, this is going to be streaming 720, 60 FPS, and we're going to be recording in 1080. Now, the reason why we are only streaming 720 is because a lot of people, they get like buffering and such whenever they watch a 1080p stream. And I don't recommend you going up to 1080p unless you have Twitch partners, so people, they can lower the quality themselves. But of course, you need to be a big streamer for that to happen. So, we're going to start over in the settings tab, because this is your most important tab. Now, streaming, of course, what you want to do, set it to where you're going to stream. I stream to Stockholm, because that is the closest server, I think. Actually, I think this is closer, or this one's closer, but I get an amazing thing to Sweden, so I'm going to stream there. Got my stream key, now I'm going to show you guys, which you can get on Twitch. Now, we're going to go to the output mode, which is the most important one. Now, for streaming, I use the NVENC H.264 codec. I find it the best because it runs with the same codec as NVIDIA Shadowplay, if you guys have ever used that. And it's basically super lossless, isn't like it's not gonna lag whatsoever. Now, what I have is I've set it to rescale to 720, and the reason why is, as I just said, some people can't take more than that. Now, I use CBR for constant bitrate, and then I have my bitrate set to 3500, which is equivalent to what you would be having for 1080p, but I just like having it up there. But if your internet isn't that good, then I recommend you lowering it down to 2500. You can keep it here though. Now I have my keyframe interval at 2. You can leave it at 0, but I find it really nice having this at 2. Now for preset, I just keep it at default. You could, of course, bump it up. I don't know, I find this really good. Then I keep it at the main profile, and I've set the level to auto. You could set it up to 5.1, but I find automatic to be really nice. Now make sure you use 2-pass encoding. I think it's gonna do this, or at least in Vegas, it does the thing twice. I don't know what this is really. Haven't really looked it up. I just know that it works better if I have it ticked on. But I stream to track 1, and the reason why we're gonna keep that in mind, because I'm gonna show you guys a neat little trick that I do. So I stream to my track 1, but let's head into the recording mode, which is probably why you're here. So you want to make sure you have advanced settings for both of these. I forgot to say that with the streaming. Now I stream to type standard, or record type standard. Now, you want to stream to something that isn't your main drive, and the way you find out is you can go to this PC, and this is, or the C drive local disk. It's normally your standard drive. Now, I have bought a Western Digital Black, which is an extremely fast drive, and then I just streamed to oh god, I need to clean this up. I just streamed or record to my recordings folder in here. So if you ever experience stuff like your videos out of sync with the audio and all that stuff, then it's because your drive isn't quick enough, and you might consider getting a new one. Now, for recording format, make sure you are in MP4. It's really low, or the files doesn't take up too much file, and it's great quality. FLV you don't want to use, because as you can see here, certain formats such as FLV does not support multiple track per recording, and you want to have that for sure. This is why we're using OBS Studio. So for audio, I like to record track 2 and 3. You can keep it at 1 and 2, but you want to have at least 2. Otherwise, I mean, then you want to have it at 2. Otherwise, you can't split tracks in editing, and that's really nice to do. So I use the same encoder as streaming, the NVENC H.264. You can use this one, but this is more CPU dependent, whilst this one is just lossless, completely like I don't lag at all. I could Skype screen share and record and still have the best quality, which is crazy, without lagging. Now, I've of course enabled rescale. You don't need this really, but I record in 1080. If you want to record in 720, this is the option. Now, we're gonna set our constant bitrate. We'll set this constant bitrate, and then we're gonna set it to 50,000. Now, the reason why is because if you want the best quality, what you can do is render this out in 2K. Which what that's gonna do is it's gonna allow YouTube to have a higher bitrate, which means the quality is gonna be better. I personally don't do this because my rendering time is already high enough. But if you have a really good computer, then I would recommend rendering out in 2K. Or if you don't do a lot of if you don't apply a lot of effects like I do, then you can render out in 2K. It's still gonna be, or you're upscaling 1080p to 2K, it's gonna look amazing because there's a much higher bitrate. Now, you don't need a keyframe interval. I keep it at 0, and then I have default, main, and auto like before. In audio, I just set it all the way up to the highest because there's no reason for you not to do so. If you stream, then you could lower it down to around, I don't know, 128, I don't know. But when recording, make sure it's at 320 because then you're going to get the best audio quality, which is awesome. Now we're going to head over to the audio tab, and this is where my trick comes in hand. You could use virtual audio cable to sort of have more than this. So you could, like, let's say, split TeamSpeak from your game and all that stuff, which I'm going to look into soon. But what you can do is you can set your desktop audio. Normally it looks like this, and it's probably just going to be set to default, like so. I personally like setting mine to whatever I use, because sometimes it does mess up on Windows, and this is my microphone and all that good stuff. And then I also set a second one, which is identical to the first one. Now, the reason why is because, I'm going to show you that later, in just a second. So I like doing that. Make sure your sample rate is at the same as your microphone. The way you find out is you right-click. Down here, you can go to recording devices, and you can see my mic is right here. And then you can go to properties, and then you can go to advanced, and you can see it's right here. This one. That's what it's set to. I don't know if playback device is the same. It should be because it's the same freaking thing. Oh, it's actually not. I don't know. I just like keeping it at 44.1. So in the video tab, 1080p. Of course, and this is very important for the downscale filter. Now, this is going to make a big difference when you stream. The downscale filter, or if you record to 720, I like to keep it at here because it's just a much better scaling. You can see, this one's the fastest, but if you're scaling, then it can be blurry, so you just want to have it at the best samples. And then, of course, you want to record in 60 FPS because 30 just looks bad on YouTube. You can stream 30, but I wouldn't recommend it. Now, hotkeys, pretty nice to have one, just because if someone interrupts you, you can quickly mute your mic and still save your recording, so you don't have to do as much editing. Or if you're streaming, then it's pretty nice to have a hotkey to mute your mic. Now, in advanced, you want to make sure that, I think this is the default, you want to make sure to bump that up to 709 and then set the color range to 4 for the best colors. And that is really it. So you can see we've got our mic and our desktop audio twice here. Now, the reason why I keep that is because in the mixer, what you can do is I set my second to the first tracks, which is what I have for streaming. And then I record the first ones on track 2 and 3. So this is going to be my microphone in my recordings. This is going to be my desktop audio in my recordings. And then when you stream, you want to make sure to stream to the same track. Because if I had this here, then people couldn't hear my music or my game. And if I did it like that, then people wouldn't be able to hear my microphone. So you want to make sure to have them at the same level whenever you're streaming, which means if you're just doing this for streaming, your settings would probably look something like this, and you wouldn't have these here. If you're just doing this for recording, you could do like that. But if you're like me and you like doing it for both, then you could do something like this, or you can just set up a different profile, which is what I recommend the most. So don't do this stuff here. It's just because I'm lazy. But yeah, guys, that is gonna be my settings for OBS. They're really neat. I've actually been having, I have OBS open twice here because I've been recording and showing my settings here. But yeah, they work so great. I've showed it to my friends as well, and they love these settings, which is just good. So I want to thank you guys for watching. If you did enjoy it, make sure to leave a like, and I hope that these settings help you out. as much as possible so you can get the best quality on YouTube. But yeah, guys, that's been it, and thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.